Joining me now are two guests known in this space, Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Chainlink, and Zach Folkman, co-founder of World Liberty Financial. They join me, Sergey in studio and Zach, of course, remotely. Sergey, we'll start with you. What is this partnership about?
So it's about enabling the next generation of DeFi. So Chainlink has been powering the first generation of DeFi since the whole industry launched, when it was below 100 million in total market value to over 200 billion, powering the majority throughout up until this day. And now there's a set of next generation DeFi protocols and teams entering the industry. World Liberty Financial is a very good example of one of the top teams that is doing that, that's seeking to kind of grow the DeFi market into the mainstream. And so they have the support of a big community and the Trumps and kind of a good team. And so we're very happy to be working with them to enable them in a more technical sense from a security point of view, similarly how we've enabled the DeFi industry to grow to where it is today.
Zach, I want to bring you in as well remotely here in terms of what this partnership means for you and your organization.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward to working with Chainlink. For us, security was one of the most important considerations when we were picking a provider. And as World Liberty Financial aims to onboard the next generation of Web3 users and bridge people over who are already existing in a Web2 world, it's important that we have a solution that can communicate with other institutions that exist outside of our crypto bubble. So for us, we believe that CCIP in particular is the only solution with proven use cases with messaging systems like Swift, for example. And Chainlink's previous work can empower us to accelerate our roadmap by piggybacking off of work that they've already done within the traditional financial world.
So I want to hear more about that in terms of just the ground that you've staked here, Sergey, that we heard Zach talking about a moment ago. Speak to me more about that for our viewers who might not be familiar with Chainlink.
Sure, so Chainlink is an infrastructure and set of protocols for connectivity, both for data and value, and it powers the majority of DeFi today, and it's connecting DeFi chains in the public chain world. We're also now becoming very widely adopted in the TradFi world, in the capital markets world. As Zach mentioned, we have many public pieces of work with Swift, the global messaging and payment system. We have other large implementations with large banks and asset managers. Recently, we announced our work with UBS and others. And so those protocols and infrastructure problems exist in the public chain world and in the private chain TradFi world, and Chainlink is being adopted in both of those worlds. And what Zach is talking about is that, let's say UBS and a whole bunch of other big banks and asset managers adopt Chainlink in the TradFi world. How does the user base that exists in the TradFi world eventually interact with something like World Liberty Financial? They'll need an infrastructure, they'll need a set of standards and protocols over which to agree on price, to agree on connectivity, to basically do transactions with each other. So I think what we're seeing is not only the support of DeFi and its growth is important, but looking to the future of how does the TradFi community interface among themselves and eventually interface with something like World Liberty Financial to help bring it into the mainstream, because a lot of the user base is still in the traditional financial system, right? So a big question is still, how does the large user base in the traditional financial system, the trillions of dollars there, migrate into the blockchain industry, migrate into the DeFi format?
Zach, I have a question for you. Of course, we got those election results last week, a red sweep in DC. Your project is backed by President Trump, incoming President Trump. What does this new administration mean for this space?
Yeah, well, I think it's been very clear for anyone who's watched the election and the campaign in general unfold that, President Trump has taken a very pro-crypto stance. He's vowed to, make America the crypto capital of the planet. And it's very clear that even some of the things that he's been talking about enacting from a regulatory standpoint, even just over the past week and a half since the election results, really echo that sentiment. So we're really excited to see the industry not only as a whole grow, but be able to bring back a lot of these crypto and DeFi companies that have been forced offshore because of the regulatory framework here in the States, get to come back and exist and participate in the American economy, boosting our GDP and making our nation the leader in finance and technology. And crypto really sits at that intersection of finance and technology. So this is going to be really exciting for everybody who's, in the crypto space already. We're hoping to see it move forward in a massive way and make America the crypto capital of the planet.
Zach, I want to follow up on that. We have seen cryptocurrency rally in the wake of the election results. It certainly was already on a tear to start 2024 after SEC regulatory approval of a Bitcoin ETF. Where do you expect Bitcoin to go from here in terms of a price target and how that could impact the broader crypto space?
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of actual price targets, everybody who is an expert has their own general opinion. It's hard to say exactly, but what we do know is there are a lot of commitments, both from private institutions, funds, even governments, that are starting to put more attention and focus into acquiring Bitcoin, holding Bitcoin on their balance sheets, et cetera. So as that capital flows into the space, it's only natural that the interest and desire is going to continue to peak.
Sergey, just in about 30 seconds or so, what is the user experience like in this?
I think the user experience is just getting better and better. I think World Liberty Financial is going to do some innovative, interesting work there. And I think the infrastructure that powers DeFi is making it easier and easier for teams like World Liberty Financial to build that better user experience. That's part of what the Chainlink community is seeking to solve, is those basic infrastructure problems about data transmission, value transmission, connectivity with existing blockchains and with the traditional system. So I think the user experience is set to really improve. And with all this additional regulatory clarity, I think there'll be a lot more accepted ways for the mainstream to utilize blockchains and things like World Liberty Financial. And so I think there's a big consumer kind of trend coming, and I think great teams like World Liberty Financial have a very good chance of really capturing a big part of that trend.
Sergey, thank you so much for joining, of course, in studio. Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Chainlink, and Zach Folkman, co-founder of World Liberty Financial.